Hi, good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Um, Hi, good evening, everyone. You think I'm audible to you? All right, so let's go with this. All right, so let's. So, very good evening, everyone, and welcome to the live session of the certification program. And welcome to the channel PM Technology Solutions. This is Neeraj Kumar Singh, your host. And today, as usual, every week we join together to answer a lot of queries regarding your uh, concerns with respect to ISTQB. Just like started already getting a lot of queries about what exactly uh, the dependencies are with respect to test execution schedules, and I'll be looking forward to more details on that and sharing with you, of course. So let me just get going and looking forward for more people to just have a contribution in order to address your queries. So let me just quickly begin with the same agenda that this session is all about interacting with all of you live in the session and answering your queries and making sure that all your queries are resolved. And it's more important to address any kind of questions which you have. A lot of things which are coming over the comment as well, and we try to take up here in order to let all our audience know more about how different things can be done exactly with respect to the ISTQB certification. So just feel free to let me know if you have any kind of concerns, and I'll be taking here in more details to understand that. Just give me a moment. Okay, it just shown me that your connection is unstable, so sort of waiting for some time. Anyways, the very first request comes from one of the viewer of the channel and says that test manager videos soon. Yes, of course. Again, as soon as I complete my technical test analyst series, I will definitely ask for your kind suggestions in order to support and suggest what tutorial must be taken next. And I would request all of you to just vote kindly in that campaign and cast your contribution in order to let me decide what you would like to prefer to have next. So yes, I'll be taking care of your request at that point of time. So do not worry. Just be available on the community tab of the channel. And when I post anything, you are free to let me know what your request is all about. Uh, Another person, Abdullah Mohammed, says that very good afternoon, sir. Would be appreciated if you can explain how to prioritize test cases based on dependencies in test case execution schedule, as it's a little bit confused for me. And with some example, please. So I think one of the tutorial which I have done in foundation level syllabus, which includes test execution schedule, and we do have an example there which talks about a particular set of test cases which are already written, and these test cases will be prioritized based on the risk analysis or any other constraint. This can be about the complexity of code, it was the related to project characteristics or product characteristics. There are many factors related to that, or any such constraint which allows you to determine what could be the priority of it. You will consider and prioritize your test cases. Once you have prioritized, you will further analyze if the test cases have any kind of dependency. We do have various types of dependency. One is logical, we have technical dependency as well. Now, these dependencies basically allow you to determine if any particular test case has to be executed in order to run the other test cases. For example, if I've written three test cases, test case 1, test case 2, test case 3. And these are prioritized as high, medium, and low. No matter my test case 3 is low, but my test 1 can have a dependency on test case 3. So that means until unless test case 3 is executed, I cannot execute test case 1, no matter the priority is high, but has a logical dependency. For example, if I have to log in into any product, any application, I must be registered on that particular application. Like sign up. Until unless you sign up, you cannot use the login option. So maybe my login has a higher priority in terms of module and registration is at lower priority, but it has a dependency. Until unless I sign up for that, I cannot actually go for logging into that. So similarly, we do consider a lot of such logical or technical dependencies in order to make sure that it is released before you can actually execute. So that's another important and interesting thing to be taken care when you talk about test execution schedules. I hope, Abdullah, that meets your expectation. If you have anything beyond, just feel free to drop your text here. I'll take it further to discuss in detail. So that's more about test execution in order to address and decide what will be executed and what will be a final execution order after considering priority and dependencies. Again, a lot of dependencies, including logical or technical dependencies. We do have another participant saying, hi, can you please send link for some sample papers? Yes, I will definitely do that. I'll put it on the same chat. You may visit it later because I might have to reach out to a particular link. Or let me just send some of the link if I have quickly have access to. Yes, I have something here. Let me directly put it here for you. And but whenever I share these kind of links with all of you, do make sure that these sample questions may be out of date. So do make sure that you cross check with your sample syllabus outline before you can actually start referring to all the type of question what is there. So I frankly and very broadly discuss with you here in previous videos as well that any source other than istqb.org is not authorized or recommended by ITB or Indian ISTQB board. So they may have a lot of wrong questions or incomplete questions or wrong answers for any questions. So please do not completely rely on that. If you have very much understanding of the content, look at it. You will automatically be able to understand if that question belongs in your code or not. If not, do not break your head on that. I have recently come across a lot of comments on my tutorials that people are putting advanced level questions, and that is not in our scope any further. So that's where you should try to evaluate such things before you can address that. Okay, so another person coming in here says, hi, can you please explain equivalence, partition, and boundary value analysis with typical example? I think this type of thing can be actually addressed with a video-driven tutorial rather, where I can have some examples and talk about the partitions and all. But as you have asked me this question, let me quickly give you a theoretical overview. And then, of course, I can you can drop me a chat or drop me a comment on any of the equivalence or boundary value analysis question, and I will give you a more detailed understanding there. Well, when you talk about equivalence partition, it is a technique which divides a particular scenario into various ranges. Now, what do you mean by a range? A range is where you classify a particular set of range or mathematical inputs into a particular class where all the elements are expected to behave same. Now, when I say all the elements are expected to behave same, for example, if I say that there is an application where payment is only possible by Visa, Amex, or Discovery card. Now we do have Master, we have Diners, and many other cards, but these three are the only one by which you can make the payment, and that's where I can put these three cards into one class. So I collect similar behaving elements and put them into one class or range. And that is what equivalence partition is all about. Equivalence partition is to make sure that you categorize them according to the outputs what may have. For example, when you talk about a simple classroom where you may have 30 or plus students, but when we conduct an examination for them, people may have different scores. So we just don't say that every individual got a different score. We do categorize them according to the class. For example, first class with distinction, plus class, second class, or third class, or maybe fail as well. Below 33 or below 35 will be considered as fail. So yes, as we categorize them, we say that 70 or above up to 100 is called as first class distinction. Between 60 to 70 will be called as a first class student, or between 45 or 50 to 60 will be called as second class. So no matter what your scenario is all about, you just have to categorize them according to their similar outputs. So if you put any value between 70 to 100, you will have the same output, that is, this person has got first class with distinction. So when you come across any such scenario and you convert them into different ranges where all the elements of a particular range is expected to behave same, that is what you call it as EP. And as per EP, you take one test from each partition. Whereas when we started applying EP, we came across that a lot of people asked, or we found that a lot of defect lies extremely where the values are mentioned. For example, when you talk about creating a range or maybe a field where the valid input is between 18 to 30 or 18 to 30 years of age, then generally developer has to mention that value to determine the range. Now probably a human can go wrong. While mentioning 18, he can write 90, or maybe he can write 70. So that is where the typo can happen or human error can happen. That's where boundary value analysis was initiated. That when we started doing EP, equivalence partition, we analyzed that a lot of defect lies into the boundary values. So why don't we test strictly on the boundaries? Then boundary value analysis help you to analyze strictly on the boundaries. And that's what this technique is all about. So on boundary, you take one inside, one outside. And no matter what number of boundaries you have, you do test them on all the boundaries. So that is about equivalence partition and boundary value analysis. So I hope that meets your expectation there. And this is what we were looking to understand. But yes, for more detail, you can have a look on the tutorial which I have uploaded to have a clear-cut example of understanding with certain scenarios or outcome of that. Okay, so Prasad says, good evening, Neeraj. Very good evening, Prasad. Prasad says, I'm preparing for technical test analyst and I'm not able to find a sufficient number of sample question papers. Is there a way to find question papers for ISTQB technical test analyst? First of all, Prasad, let me tell you, we do not have, to be frank, any sample questions for any of the levels, including foundation. When it comes to foundation, the questions are very straightforward, like one-line question, 4 options, two-line questions, 4 options. And generally, people who take examination, after taking the examination, they manipulate those things or they recreate those questions with the certain options. And that's where they go wrong in creating sample questions. First of all, ISTQB officially does not release any other sample paper than what is found on their website. If they are found on their particular website, some sample papers, other than that, ISTQB does not prepare any other sample paper or officially release any kind of paper after the examination. So whatever you found for foundation in earlier examination, that is all created by. If you can remember certain options, you will come and write it on your blog. Now, there is another smart person who will go to 10 different blogs, collect all of them, and call it a 40 marks paper. But that might not be distributed as per the structure of the examination, or maybe not as per the syllabus, or maybe you find a lot of incomplete questions and incorrect answers. That's the reason this is what you get. But when it comes to advanced level, I would like to tell you, Prasad, that in advanced level, we have more scenario driven questions. That means maybe an entire page will be for a particular scenario and then a question at the bottom. And it's quite difficult for anyone to recreate a scenario and come back to the same conclusion what ISTQB wants to ask. And that becomes quite challenging for any individual person to remember any number of questions from the examination. Thus, people don't recreate it and you find it difficult to find sample questions, including me. Even if you ask me, I may not create a sample paper for advanced levels because they have scenario-based questions where scenarios are pretty long. and it needs a lot of effort, probably maybe even 6 months, to create a proper 60 marks question or 60 question based paper for technical test analyst or test analyst or test manager. So that's the reason you may not find, but yes, still I do have got something with me. I would like to share that with you. I'll upload that on the slide share and share the link with you on the same chat. So stay tuned for that. You will get a response from me by tonight. Okay. So I hope that solves your issue. Um, Abdullah again says that I wish you could explain prioritization and dependency with examples, as I still didn't get it, since there are some difficult examples online for many test cases with different priority and dependency. In that case, I think that was quite clear and straightforward, that dependencies and priority curve, what is the story all about. So I think that should do for you. If not, I would recommend you rather that you put me the questions which you are coming across and finding it difficult to understand. And then I would give you a rather video driven solution, and you can find it in your Q&A playlist of my channel. So don't worry, I'm not denying to respond to your query, but yes, I would like to rather go with a video driven approach that would be more interesting and easy for you to understand. Maybe in a virtual session, I may not have a picture with me or maybe a table created for me to create the relationships to make you understand. So definitely I'm going to assist you on this, but just drop me with the questions anywhere, any of the video. I will respond to your query there with a video driven resolution. So just don't worry about that. Feel free to get that question to me and put it across. Okay. Another question coming in, Neeraj, please have some separate sessions of question and uh, sorry, did I miss anything? Okay, I'm so sorry, Smile. Smile has a question. Hello, sir. Can you please share material and practice set, please? Questions. Practice set questions. I'm preparing for ISTQB Foundation level exam. Sure, I will drop you regard to this. Just drop me your email ID. I'll send it across. It's a very and probably not have all the questions on the chat window. Just drop me. I will respond back to you. So there's another one. Neeraj, please have some separate of questions and examples of chapter 4 and chapter 5, as it contains 20 questions out of 40. In process of doing that, today itself, I just initiated that approach where I started taking from the sample sources of different websites and thought of adding more value to your foundation preparation and started creating some of these sample videos with more only sample questions from different chapters. And of course, the priority will be given to chapter 4 and 5 as it has very major share, that is 20 questions out of 40. So you can look forward to that probably in the coming week of time. So yes, you may have that. So Ismail, I think that is what I can do the best for you. You can drop me your mail ID. I'll reply back to you. Abdullah says, second question, in decision coverage, you said that executed once divided by total decision, which is every branch, but I found other tutorials saying that decision outcomes, which statement has two branches, not one. I'm finding it a little difficult to understand the second part of it. That I found other tutorial says decision outcome, which statement has two branches, not one. Okay, so you have included two things here. That's the reason I'm a little worried about understanding what your concern is. See, let me just give you, probably even if I don't understand, let me come up with what exactly the understanding of decision and statement is. When you talk about a fragment of code, any pseudocode which is provided to you, for example, let's assume that virtually, okay? You may close your eyes and just start assuming that. When you talk about reads a variable A, read a variable B, if A is greater than B, then print A is bigger. If else, B is bigger. Now, very simple condition which has true and false. If true, do this. If false, do that. Now, both the end has a statement to be printed or a node, like something to happen there. And that's what you measure with respect to statement coverage. What is statement coverage? when you try to measure that what test cases your test cases are covering, like what statements your test cases have covered, divided by total number of statements in a code. Simple. So if I have taken two tests here, both the statements or all the statements are covered by two test cases, and the total required is same thing. So 6 by 6 or 2 by 2, answer is 100%. Similarly, this is statement, the node. But when it comes to decision, it is about branches. Now, why it is different compared to statement? Because when it comes to decision coverage, sometimes a pseudocode, when I insist on that pseudocode, it means that they may give you a program which may not have a else statement. So it doesn't have else statement, that means it only has a true path. But there will be a outcome. What do you mean by outcome? Branch will go there. If what if this is not true? The program will not terminate there, or it will not get stuck that I cannot execute further. It will execute, but we do not have any instruction for him. For example, if I send my friend that please go to this particular shop, if it is open, buy me a pen. That's it. I didn't give him an alternative. What if it is not open? What if the shop is closed? I have not given him a else statement there. So now what happens? He will go to the shop, check that if it is open. If it is open, he will get me a pen. If not, he will return back to me. He will not get lost. He will not go somewhere else because I have not given him any instruction. But he will come back to me and tell me that shop was closed. Now that's how you evaluate it. So now if you talk about decision coverage on this, then I have to have two paths in order to cover possible outcomes. And then again, I measure it as it is number of decisions in the program divided by number of decisions exercised by your test divided by total number of decisions. And it's written in the ISTQB syllabus as well. So if you are referring any other source, I would like you to quickly ask you to revise that or refer the ISTQB official syllabus. The tutorials might be wrong, so never trust on that, including me. Okay, it's not that I'm trying to promote my work, or it's not that I'm recommending everyone, all my viewers, that officially you must listen only to my tutorial, do not believe on other things. Verify my work as well. If you find my any of the tutorial that it is not as per the syllabus, please report me. I'll try to make it better or change the tutorial in fact. And if you have been to a lot of my tutorials, you will see that I have appreciated when people have reported my defects. And I'm really happy to do that. People have said that you have gone wrong in this option, and I have politely accepted that yes, it is wrong. It should have been B. So please correct yourself. So at any point of time, don't trust me, don't any other source. Just go to the official syllabus of ISTQB Foundation and go to that section which you're thinking about and look at the definition. That will give you a very clear picture. And if that is whatever is written there, that will be the final decision, because ISTQ syllabus is the one which you must refer in order to answer the question. So you must stick to their terminologies. I hope that meets your expectation, Abdullah. And if you still have anything else, feel free to let me know. So, as Sumit says, is it enough to remember shortcuts for DC and SC? Sumit, if you are talking about 2018, I would also like to tell Abdullah about that. First of all, these type of questions are eliminated. There are no questions which are program based now. They have removed it and made it K2. So in 2018, a lot of people have come back to me and reported that this program based questions are no longer in the syllabus, as it is white box, and probably they considered that this was not required for a foundation tester to be aware of. So it's going to be only theoretical question which they can ask you from statement coverage and decision coverage. So you should not be worrying about how to deal with the flowcharts and get a derived number of test cases and all sort of things anymore. So if you know the definition, that is more than enough. Even the shortcuts will be helpful as an add-on, but that is only from the point of understanding to implement something back in your organization. Otherwise, as per the syllabus, new syllabus 2018, they have eliminated the program-based questions. So do not worry about that. Okay. Abdullah further says, example chapter 4 for decision diagram. if it says 5 by 8, yes, it is 5 by 8, but some example, some says it is 4 by 6. No, there's a diagram and you very well understand what is decision and what is that. If it is there, then the diagram will be definitely valid for it. So don't worry, you can look into the definition of it in the syllabus and the definition will tell you how do you count the number of decisions. Okay. All right, so you have sent me your email address to my LinkedIn account. Thank you so much. I just got it. I heard a beep, so I will respond back to you. Thank you so much. All right, so a lot of questions which was just piling up. There's a lot of incoming questions. So yeah, I think I have responded to all of you. If any one of you think that I have not responded to your query, just feel free to raise your hand. Or if you have any more questions, any more concerns, just believe, feel free to write me here. And I'm here only for addressing your queries and answering them well. So just feel free to let me know if you have any concerns. And do not forget to like the video. Generally, I don't request for liking, sharing, or subscribing. None of my video you will find that. But yeah, sometimes as you appreciate somebody's work, you can actually, as a token of that, you can like the video. But that's up to you again. I don't want to, this is a professional channel and we are doing more of a like professional services. So we don't want to get into that pool of people who have YouTube as a profession. But here it is just a medium for me to share my learnings with others. So yes, definitely. So yeah, so team, again, if any one of you have any more questions to ask, feel free to let me know. This could be related to any content, any topic, any syllabus, or any certification of ISTQB. I'm all here dedicated for an hour. As you could see my dedication here, that yesterday I was engaged with some important activity, even it was a festival yesterday back in India, and I didn't have enough time, in fact, to come back to my place and go live. So I immediately this morning I rescheduled it because I had promised everyone that I will be coming live every week. Then it must go on. So for today, this week only, I have moved it to Sunday. Again, from next week, we will have it on Saturday. Also, about this live session, if you think, because we do have global viewers, people from a lot of countries are viewing this video and my channel. Thank you so much for that, showing your love and affection to this channel and support. So if you have any kind of suggestions for my global users and even Indian users that any better time is suited to you, you can let me know. I'll try to make myself available and we will shift the live session accordingly to best fit you. Okay. So just feel free to even suggest. This live session is more of like interacting with you live in a session and addressing your queries, accepting your suggestions and feedbacks. At any point of time, if you feel that you have anything to share with me, just utilize this particular window. Okay. Another thing coming in up here, sir, I have my foundation. Oh, first, before that, Ismail says, thank you. You're welcome, Ismail. And Abdullah says, thank you, man. Much appreciated. Can you explain the relation between the test case, test procedure, and test suites? Thanks a lot. Abdullah, when you talk about test case, it is the core instruction which you prepare in order to validate a feature. I'm going very slow because we have a lot of words here. It is the instruction or set of instructions which you prepare in order to interact with a feature and validate it. For example, if I have to test a login page, I will write my test cases in order to interact with it, fill in the values, feed in the values, and then look at the expected outcome. But test case is not mere about these inputs. It includes a lot of other information. For example, what is the objective of test case? Why are you writing a test case? What will be the outcome of it? So objective should be defined. Prerequisite. It might be possible in order to execute this test case, you may need some more information or predefined things to be acquired. Like application must be active. You must have a proper access to that, or probably network must be checked. So depending on what type of application you are testing, your prerequisites or preconditions will be determined. And then test data. A lot of people or a lot of time during testing, many of the organization make, okay? And then comes your test suites. Test suites are collection of test cases put together to be executed at once. For example, I might have written 50 test cases at a time for any particular functionality or module. Now, this 50 test cases will not be executed in any order or altogether. So what I do, I create similar type of test cases in one set, like 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, and 10 here. So now I've divided this 50 into 5 groups, and each group will be called as a test suite. And this test suite has a property. That means once you start with the test case 1, it will only stop at test case 10. That means you should be executed all at once, one after the other. You cannot pause or you cannot terminate. Subjected, you have a defect, blocker, or dependency. So that is what you call it as a test suite. So that's the difference between test case, test procedure, and test suites. Is that okay? So just let me know by dropping your response. Okay, so I think I'm missing a lot of things here. Let me just go up. So yes, Abdullah, I think that is what. Hey, Karan Rathod. Hi, good evening, Karan. Sir, I have my foundation exam on 1st September. I've gone through your videos. Would you recommend anything apart from the videos? Karan, first of all, videos are okay, subjected you have understood and got the logic behind each and every concept. If you are comfortable with that and you're able to understand the sample questions, or even from the ISTQB web page, you can download the mock papers. Even in share link, you can go there. You will find there some mock papers. If you are able to answer them, that is more than enough. But if you think some of the questions you are going wrong, I would recommend you the second option as going through the ISTQB syllabus, because a lot of straightforward definitions are theoretically defined there, and that would boost your confidence and understanding about the syllabus. So if you have been through all my videos, please go back to your ISTQB syllabus only if you think that you are still going wrong with understanding of some of the questions. And then I would like to wish you all the very best. Okay, just let me know what happens to your results. The next input here is from Ashok Chaudhary. Says difference between validation and verification in V model. Very simple thing. In fact, today itself, I recorded one video. I do have my other channel, if you know, all of you. Testing in nutshell. Let me just mention to all of you, because not everyone know about that. It's just a new channel, and looking for your love and support, how you have provided to my channel, PM Square Technology Solutions. So another channel, what I've started is to talk about these kind of things. Like ISTQB preparation or certification restricts me to talk about further things beyond the syllabus. So I have started a new channel based on request of some of the viewers that why don't you explain us in more detail? That not be only for the certification, but let us understand something in more detail. So that's where I started actually a new channel around a month ago, and wanted to share those details there. So retesting, regression testing, validation, static analysis, static testing, all these differences and definition in detail is what I'm talking about. So let me just quickly give you a response as you have asked it. When you talk about verification, it is limited to non-executable work products. For example, in V model, if you are visualizing that in your front right now, on the left side, what do you see? You see business requirement, system requirement, high-level design, low-level design. What are these? They are all work product, non-executable. So whatever we have on the left side, they will be reviewed to make sure that they are complete, consistent. There are no omissions, contradictions, misunderstanding, any kind of clarity issue, incompleteness, all sort of these kind of issues will be reviewed there for the work products to make sure that there are no defects. Because for them or these work products, we consider these kind of things as a defect. But when it comes to validation, it is more about interacting with the application, running the application, and evaluating it, and making sure it is correct as per the requirement. Now, the major difference here, what you will observe, when I write a requirement, what is the requirement? That is itself the document. So when we say reviewing a requirement, we call it as verification. Why? We are making sure that requirements are correct or not. What sense? Whether it is complete, clear, consistent. There are no like objections or obstructions in order to understand that or process it. But when it comes to validation, I make sure that whatever you have made, is it as per the requirement or not? In simple words, I would say verification is, have we built the product right? And validation is, have we built the right product? When we say product right, it means that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. I run this program, I get the output as 4. But is this what my customer wanted? That is validation. Validation will make sure that no matter what you have done is correct and giving you a proper and right output. But is this what the requirement was? That is will be verified in the validation, or that will be evaluated during validation. And that is done by interacting with the application by running it. So the major differences between verification and validation is verification is static, validation is dynamic. Verification, you make sure that everything is correct up to the mark. Validation, you make sure that whatever you have done correctly is as per the requirement or not. Okay. Verification will be only for static work products, whereas dynamic or validation will be by interacting with the product or running the application or running the code. Okay. So that I hope should address your query, Ashok, that verification and validation as per V model. Okay. So we have another question coming in from Mr. Sumit Sharma. Is to give online exam because there are many rules and regulation and some grace time will be given or not? There is no grace time. It's just that you interact with the question paper, whether on physical or online. You just have to select the radio buttons. But the only challenge what you would see is you cannot cheat. That's funny, I know that. But yes, you're not allowed to, make sure that nobody is there in your room. So you have to, when you start with your examination first, you first of all turn the camera, and there will be someone who will be observing you, and you show around your entire place where. That means no one is hiding. You do not have a book next to you or any kind of sheet of paper. So you have to actually, take a 360 round of the place where you will be sitting and taking the examination. And without disconnecting the call, you continue appearing in this examination. That is what you call it as proctor-based examination, which is happening due to the COVID-19 pandemic, because they're giving you freedom to take the examination right from your home. But yes, someone will be online with you throughout the examination. Then how do you do your rough work, calculation all? You can use a white paper or whiteboard, which will be inbuilt in the tool. So you can enable that or launch it and then use your mouse to do the drawings or rough work. So I'm so sorry to say, not everyone is comfortable with MS Paint. I would rather recommend start painting using MS Paint option in your Windows. Okay, because that will give you more fluency in order to do the rough work online. They will not allow you to use a sheet of paper to do the rough work because the camera cannot concentrate both the things at that is you and your rough work. So they will not allow you. That's the rules and regulation for that. So start practicing painting using MS Paint. Okay, Sumit. So all the best for your preparation, and do let me know what happens and when you write the examination. Kapil Sharma says, hi, really appreciate your work. Thank you so much. I'm preparing for foundation. Your tutorials are really helpful. Amazing. It will be my pleasure that my contents are really helpful to you. And if you have any questions, just feel free to let me know and reach out to me in order to help you better. Abdullah, thanks a lot, man. You are amazing. Thank you so much for those words. That really keeps me boosted to keep up the good work. Karan Rathore also says thanks a lot. And of course, that's my comment. Testing in Nutshell is my new channel. So you can look forward to have more interesting contents. And as the name says, testing in nutshell. That means we will take a lot of small topics there and elaborate them in detail in order to have deeper understanding of each and every terminology. Following that, once I think we are done with all the foundation concepts, we will get into a lot of testing tools understanding in brief again. The name nutshell is kept with a purpose. We will not get into the, taking a lot of your time to understand something. Rather, it will be brief, but to the point and very specific. That will help to address a lot of things. So you can search about testing in nutshell, and you can also look forward to subscribe to that channel. Thank you so much, team. So Ashok says, thank you for your explanation. The V model, it really helps. It's all my pleasure if I could make you understand with that concept. Okay. Um, yes. So far we have covered a lot of questions, and I think we had really good crowd and really good participation from all the viewers. Team, still, if you think you have anything, we have some time and we can talk about. Or if you want to know about any of the certification, any of the career path, this live session is for anything related to testing or certification. If you have any questions, just put it here and we will discuss it more about. So yes, team, just feel free to let me know if you have any questions, and I'm here to address you and answer your questions. Just do not forget to let me know, because I'm not a psychologist probably who can read your mind. I can only help you with my learnings and my experience, and that is the best thing which I can do right now in order to help you. But for that, you should let me know what your problem is. So yeah, there's a lot of things, and yes, I think let me share something as we are waiting for some of the questions. Okay, already got some. We have another question from Love Sony. Differentiation between likelihood and impact. Yeah, that's something new I am getting. I think the very first comment about risk and testing from chapter 5, which I have got from one of the user viewer here. That is, what's the difference between likelihood and impact? When you talk about risk, risk is an uncertainty which may or may not happen. When you basically identify a risk, you have to assess the risk in order to understand what if this risk happens. Okay, as I said earlier, that risk is an uncertainty which may or may not happen. But what if it happens? I should be prepared for it. And that is where I do the next phase of risk analysis, which we call it as risk assessment. And we assess the level of risk. Remember the keywords, team. It's very important in order to answer a question. The risk is assessed by determining the level of risk. How do you determine the level of risk? Impact and likelihood. What is impact? If this risk happens, what kind of side effect will happen to me? For example, if I'm having an application which is probably like an electrical circuit, or maybe a meter, electrical meter, or maybe a bulb. If the bulb bursts or blows up, then what kind of impact will I have? For example, people buy my product, they buy often my bulb, and I put that bulb at home, and after 2 days it is gone. It's fused. So every time I use quite frequently, what will be my impact? It's a risk for me. So what will me? Business loss, probably losing my name, loss of business. Any sort of those things will be called as impact. Let's take another example. If I have a product as BP monitor and it is showing a wrong reading, then he might get a heart attack, assuming that my BP is so high, or probably he can go into coma. So any kind of side effect can be there. What's the impact? They may have claims on you because it was your product which was showing a calibration issue. Look at a weighing machine showing wrong reading, not less, maybe more, and the ladies will be getting heart attack for that. A lady using your weighing machine and it is shown more by mistake, they will bring that machine and back put it on your head, or maybe bang on your head rather, because they don't want to look overweight. So yes, when you talk about such things, this is what you call it as impact. Your head will be gone. That is the impact. So we determine that what is the impact of a risk. What if it happens? And what do you mean by likelihood? It is the probability of a risk to happen. One is impact. If it happens, this will be the output. Second is how frequently a person can use this option. For example, I have an application which has a feature that you can go and change your password. Do you see? It is a very critical option that you are changing your password. So impact is very high if that is having a risk, but probability is very low. How often you go to change your password for any account? Until unless the vendor asks you to change a password. In fact, for the banks, people are just being more secure. They change their password for banking. But look at your Gmail account. Look at your Facebook account. Until unless your girlfriend knows that she has come to know about your password, you will not change it. Why? Because I may not remember all new frequent passwords. I have to write it somewhere. And what if that is get caught by another person again? So it's a lot of risk further. So likelihood is basically how frequently people will use it and how frequently this risk can happen. So that is what is likelihood, whether it will happen or not. So you again rate between very high to low. So let's take the final example here, jokes apart. I have an application where I have a password feature to reset. Now, reset password feature has a risk. That means when somebody goes to reset a password and click on reset link, the link should go to your email ID and the link is not going. That is the risk. So if that happens, user clicks on it and no link is sent to the mail ID. Impact is very high. The person cannot change his password at all, even if he wants to, because there is no link sent. So impact is very high. But what is the likelihood? Very low. Why? Because not people quite often visit that page. So similarly, this is just an example. It might be different variations based on the type of product. If it is banking, then both are high because people frequently go to change their password, not quite often or like that. So yes, this is how you judge and differentiate between what is impact and likelihood. And both of them, a multiplication of that will be considered as a level of risk. So that is how I think I have given you a response to that. If that is fine, you can just drop me yes, that should be more than enough for me to understand that you got the clarity. Abdullah, again, the exam can ask about 3-point boundary value analysis or only 2-point boundary analysis. Both. I know I have been under promising on this. I'm so sorry, team. I'm going to come back with a 3-point value analysis video soon. That is probably by tomorrow. I'm little engaged with a lot of international trainings and I'm working probably, in daytime for some countries and nighttime for some other countries. So I'm just running busy for schedule issue. But yes, I promise you that for the 3-point bonus video I have to give, I have not included that in my tutorials. So I will include that in the foundation level playlist. At the end, you will find 3-point analysis video as well. It's just that 2-point is you take two values, one inside, one outside, and 3-point, you take one outside and two inside. Okay, so that's the only difference. And yes, the examination will have both of them. So please prepare for both the type of analysis. Okay, so Sony says, yes, sir, thank you for answer. It's my pleasure that it could help you and got the understanding on this. Okay, so yeah, I was just talking about meanwhile that the comments which keep on coming. So I just pick a few of the comments from different videos which I get over the week in order to discuss if people run out of their questions to fill in the details and add more value to this live session. A lot of questions are coming from different chapters. People are again going back to a lot of online sources in order to find questions and put it back to me. They drop it in a comment that this is the question I was going through and it says B is the right answer, but I think C is the right answer, or I don't understand which option will be correct, or sounds not correct. Yes, this is what is the possibility when you look at any different sources. So just feel free to reach out to me and understand, because I'll give you a proper justification in order to explain that question. And probably I have been through a lot of sample papers, or basically be in touch with the board. I get to know what questions were there before 2011 and from 2011 and then now 2018. These are the revisions of the foundation level. So a lot of people are asking sample questions of foundation which are from test manager, which is advanced level. So please team, be aware when you talk about such questions. Do understand that have you discussed about that in the syllabus? If yes, put it to me. If you think no, we have not discussed this in the syllabus at all, then forget it. Because recently, few days back, I've seen a lot of questions from one person who has put everything from the sample sources, but all the questions are from advanced level. Me being myself test manager certified, I have understanding on this, that what questions are from which level and which certification. So these questions are from test manager, what that person has shared to me. So I would like to request all my viewers here, that please make sure that at least you are able to judge the question and do not challenge your confidence. Sometimes it is okay when you have already got the confidence and understanding of the content, and do not try to test it further and beyond the limit. You think you know what is the matter all about, what is static testing all about, what is a boundary value analysis, what is a equivalence partition, what is a review process. There are 4 types of review. What they have discussed, they will not ask anything beyond that. They will not ask you to be a test manager to decide which review should happen now. They can only ask you which one of this is the informal review, or which one of this is a walkthrough, or which one of this will be output of a statement testing. Nothing beyond the same. So please judge yourself so that you don't challenge yourself. That you put a lot of effort to understand the concept, and you look at such unwanted questions, and then you challenge yourself. No, I don't know anything. Then it ruins all your confidence. So please do not divert it. Take a look at the question. There is no harm at that, but judge whether it is in your scope or not. Have you discussed in the syllabus or not? Is that in my tutorial? Not. Ignore that. If I have spoken about in my tutorials, then it is in the syllabus. If I have not spoken about it, it is not in the syllabus. But yeah, except 3-point, because which I missed as a part of 2018, 3-point analysis, I'll be adding it so that I can fulfill my own statements. Yeah, sure. Yes, of course. Abdullah says that thank you so much, man. Wish us all best of luck for the exam. I'm always wishing all the best to all my viewers, and Abdullah, especially to you. I would like to wish you all the very best and have the result with the flying colors and have a really good score and showcase that to everyone else in the world that yes, the effort was seamless and you really got a good output from that. So I would really wish you especially a very all the best as you have requested me to wish you. So I wish you all the very best and do well in your examination. And let me know once you're done with your examination, what was it? Okay. So yeah, we are getting close to the an hour show of the live session. So we have another few minutes to go. If anyone would like to add something more to the live session, if you have any questions, any suggestions, any feedbacks, any inputs to make the channel more better for you, feel free to drop me a text here and we will consider or discuss that. Okay, so just feel free to drop your queries and concerns. Let me and support you with any kind of possible things which I can do for you. Let me share some quick links. I've shared already some links for all of you about the sample papers, but again, be cautious when you look at those because a lot of questions are out of the syllabus and some of the questions are even wrong. So you might wonder that how this question can be done. So that would be typically wrong. So do not test yourself and challenge your own confidence. That's really bad if you are doing that because no matter what you learned, everything will go into waste. So have belief on yourself and have confidence, whatever you're trying to do. So I'm just quickly trying to put in a link for my new channel, and I would request you to look into that as well. That will have a lot of informative to understand more in depth about testing beyond the limit of certifications. Okay, Abdullah says, does this session done weekly? Yes, every week. Every week, Saturday, I join live. Anyone is free to come and join me and have a discussion and get your queries resolved. So recently I started, this is my 4th video, I think you can look at the title. This is my 4th session on the live video session. So we will continue this for every week, no matter wherever I am. If sometime I'm not available, I'll reschedule it, but every week it will happen. Okay, so that's my link to my channel. If you have any questions or any more detailed understanding required, you are free to visit that. Okay, another complimentary statement coming in from Satish Satish Chandra. I'm so sorry. Satish Chandra. Hi, your basic ISTQB series is very good. Thank you so much. It's ISTQB Foundation series, and that's where we generally start our certification journey of testing. So thank you so much for your valuable comment. Can you suggest or share some sample papers to practice? Yes, I did drop some links there. I'll drop it again if in case you missed it. But again, just be careful. There might be a lot of questions which might be out of syllabus, incomplete, incorrect, or with wrong answers. So, be careful with that. But again, these are not my promoters or my sponsors. This is just that I have some source with me. I have some good links with me. So always want to share with you. I even don't know who is the owner of that website, because if I know, the very first thing I'll do is I'll call him and ask him to take it down or update the questions rather. But yes, if it is helping you to make it more better and have better confidence, good. The moment you think it is demoralizing you or bringing down your confidence, stop, cut it there. Stop it. Don't go beyond that. Okay. Abdullah, do you provide practical videos for manual test and automation test tools? That is the new channel all about. As this channel is exclusively for ISTQB certification, I don't want to mesh up with anything else. I did start earlier with UFT and other things, but I saw that people are getting diverted. They don't have a proper agenda that why should I come to this channel? So that's the reason I stopped it. But again, another motive to open the new channel, testing in nutshell, is to address all those things. So, Abdullah, you can look forward to that. We will be having a lot of tool-based, specifically testing tools, which can assist in testing or aid in any kind of activities of testing. We will be talking about that there. Another person coming in, Jasveer Marwa. Okay, quickly. Hi, sir. I'm planning to take ISTQB Fundamentals. That's foundation. Please help me out. If you have any live sessions, please know. Thank you. Um, Yeah, I was thinking to do that, but probably I do not have enough time recently to do a live session. I think I've done 2 times before a live session. You can actually go to my channel, Jasveer, and go to my live videos. And the very first video which I have put, I think we would have around 5 or 6 live sessions as of now. You will see one live video, which is around 1.5 hours of time, and has quick discussion of entire syllabus in 1.5 hours. So you may look into that. But yes, if I have any public sessions, any public batches which I'll be doing, I'll definitely send you an invitation. You may drop me or get in touch with me LinkedIn. So I will generally post on my YouTube community as well as LinkedIn page. So you can stay connected to me and look forward for updates. I will definitely let you know when I have a public batch going on. Okay, so that will surely help you to understand more about the details of foundation. Okay, Jasveer, I think that should meet with your expectation and in line with your query. All right, so we are coming close to the end of the session. It's just an hour or so. If you want, you have any suggestions, any feedbacks to make this more interactive or more better, feel free to suggest me so that I can make this channel more interesting for all of you, and just try to contribute in manner of like suggesting with sample questions or any kind of content which you find invalid, or just help me in order to help you back. So just let me know if I can make it better for you, a wonderful experience and a memorable journey. Then just let me know whatever you have as a concern, and I'm always there to address your queries. So that's what I have to say at the end. All right, so that was all we have got for today's session. Should you have anything else, just get back to any of my tutorial videos and drop me a comment there. As we have a tight schedule here just for an hour time, I think we will just keep it limited to that. Later, as we see if we have more crowd and more people engagements, then I will try to exceed it further for 1.5 or 2 hours of time as well. So till then, we will just keep it for an hour. And as usual, I say at the end of the day. So that's all from this particular video team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video team, and happy learning. Take care, team. I'll see you again next week with a live session and a lot more videos coming up on the technical test analyst as of now. Do recommend me. your support and suggestions for upcoming next series after the technical test analyst. Thank you, team. Have a great evening ahead. See you next week. Take care. Bye bye.